You are standing in front of a massive chemical fire. You are watching 10 massive buildings, your entire life's work, burn to the ground. Most people would scream. Most people would cry. Most people would fall to their knees in despair. But Thomas Edison, when his famous laboratory caught fire in 1914, destroying millions of dollars of research, he didn't panic. He turned to his son and said, "Go get your mother. She'll never see a fire like this again." How does a human being reach that level of calm? How do you watch your world collapse and respond with a smile? We tend to think composure is a genetic gift. You're either born chill or you're anxious. But that is a lie. The ancient Stoics knew that calm is an architecture. It is a fortress you build in your mind. Drawing from Ryan Holiday's "The Obstacle is the Way," we are going to break down the 3 disciplines you need to turn your panic into power.
The first step is perception. When a crisis hits, whether it's a market crash or a rude email, your brain is hardwired to freak out. This is biology. Your nervous system screams danger and pumps you full of adrenaline. But here is the truth. The event is not the problem. Your story about the event is the problem. In the book, we learn about John D. Rockefeller during the Panic of 1857. The economy was tanking. People were losing their fortunes and jumping out of windows. But Rockefeller didn't look at the market and see disaster. He looked at it and saw a baptism. He saw a chance to learn how money really worked. While his competitors panicked, he stayed cool. And because he stayed cool, he ended up controlling 90% of the oil market.
This is a skill called apatheia. It doesn't mean apathy or not caring. It means the absence of irrational emotion. It means wiping the fog off your glasses. NASA teaches astronauts a simple rule. Panic is suicide. If you panic in space, you stop solving the problem and you die. So how do you do this? The next time you feel your heart rate spike, you have to separate the fact from the judgment. Fact: I lost my job. Judgment: my life is over and I am a failure. The fact is true. The judgment is a story you made up. Reject the judgment, keep the fact, and you will feel the panic instantly drain away.
Once you have steadied your nerves, you have to move. This brings us to the second discipline, action. Anxiety loves paralysis. We usually freeze because we are looking at the sheer size of the problem. We look at the mountain and we get scared of the climb. The cure for this paralysis is what Coach Nick Saban calls the process. Saban taught his football players to ignore the championship, ignore the scoreboard, ignore the fans. If you think about the prize, you get anxious. Instead, focus exclusively on the smallest, most immediate thing in front of you. Just execute this play. Just block this guy. Just take one step.
If you're in a crisis, do not try to solve the whole thing today. Think of Amelia Earhart. Her motto was always think with your stick forward. Even when things were going wrong in the cockpit, she kept the plane moving. Action is a release valve for stress. The moment you take that first small step, sending the first email, picking up the first piece of glass, the pressure dissipates. Momentum overrides fear. Don't worry about the mountain. Just watch your feet.
But what happens when action fails? What happens when the factory really does burn down and you can't fix it? This is the final discipline, the will. Perception is how you see. Action is what you do. Will is how you endure. Let's go back to Thomas Edison at the fire. Why did he smile? Why did he tell his son to get his mother? Because he practiced amor fati, a love of fate.
Edison knew he couldn't stop the fire. Screaming at it wouldn't put it out. So instead of fighting reality, he accepted it. He told reporters the next day,
I am 67, but I am not too old to make a fresh start. This is the ultimate strength. You can prepare for this by practicing something the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds dark, but it works. Visualize things going wrong before they happen. Imagine the deal falling through. Imagine the car breaking down. If you have already visualized the worst-case scenario, then when it actually happens, it cannot shock you. You won't be crushed by it because you've already been there in your mind. Life is going to disrupt you. That is the only guarantee. You cannot control the economy, you cannot control other people, and you certainly cannot control chemical fires. But you can control the architecture of your mind. Control your perception. Strip away the scary story and look at the facts. Control your action. Ignore the big picture and take one small step. Control your will. If you can't change it, accept it with a smile. Be the person who remains still while the world spins. That is where your power lies. If you want to build a stronger mind, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video.